In several of my blog posts, I've talked about how I style my hair upside down because it helps me to get more volume. And something I've been asked about that is how do you do that without making the back of your hair messed up? And I completely understand that because when I first started the curly girl method, I had a really hard time with the back of my head too. It was really messy, and I was like, how are these other women doing this and not having like what looks like a rat's nest in the back of their head? Because that's what I was having. So there are kind of a lot of little small details, little technique things that can allow you to style your hair upside down, but without having that problem. So I'm going to take you guys through my routine and focus on the little details that I do to ensure that it doesn't get messy in the back. Step 1 of my routine is to run a finger behind each ear and have them meet in the center to create a part between the back of my hair and the front of my hair. This will help keep the hair from the back of my head from clumping with hair in the front. That is a common cause of a messy back of the head, is if the hair from the back of your hair has clumped with hair from the front or the sides, so it gets pulled forward. After I've made that part, then I begin to scrunch. For me, this is largely just to get excess water out of my hair because my hair holds onto water like crazy. It also helps with encouraging my wave pattern. I try to make sure that I am truly upside down and not leaning over at this phase. If you are leaning over, you will be looking at the ground, and the hair from the back of your head will be up over the top of your head and pulled to the sides. This can allow your hair from the back to clump with hair in the front or the sides, and if your hair dries like this, it will get stuck to the back of your head. When you are truly upside down, you'll be looking more at your knees, and your hair will be falling straight down rather than being stuck to the back of your head. This is a better position to be in while styling and drying your hair. Step 2 of my routine is plopping. The way that I need to consider the back of my head here really is just in how long I plop for. I had to do a lot of trial and error to find out how long I could plop for to get the benefit of helping my hair to dry a little bit faster and to get better root volume without plopping so long that it would leave the back of my hair dry to the back of my head. For me, the sweet spot is about 10 minutes, but my hair is dense and takes a long time to dry. Step 4 in my routine is waiting the 10 minutes while I have the plop on my head, and then once I've given it 10 minutes to do its thing, I lean over and gently take my t-shirt off of my head so that I can get ready to style my hair. Before the next step, I want to demonstrate how the thickness of the back of our hair is a little hard to understand when we're upside down. Here I've parted the back of my hair away from the front, and yet the amount of hair left dangling is all roughly the same thickness. So when I release all of that hair from the back, it's still going to look like one even sheet of hair, but the part in the center of the sheet is far thicker. That center layer being thicker is important to understand if we want to apply our products upside down and do so evenly. The next step here is applying my mousse. So my first handful of mousse I'm going to add to the front of my hair and the back of my hair. I used to apply all of my product to the front and the back in sort of glazing hands or prayer hands like this, and then I would have a cast and good definition in the front of my hair and part of the sides, but the back would be left poofy and messy and undefined. So this is why I create that part in my hair that separates the front and the back early on in my routine, because now with the second handful of mousse, I'm going to work right up into that part, and I'm going to get a good amount of mousse right in the center on both sides of that part there, so that plenty of mousse gets right up into that thick center part in the back of my hair. And now this is going to result in the back of my hair having plenty of mousse, getting a cast, and getting good definition. With my third handful of mousse, I just kind of work it in all over and try to scrunch my hair really good to make sure that it is, really soaked into my hair good. And by the way, I would not at all recommend that most people use 3 handfuls of mousse. My hair is very thick and it's very dense, so that would be way too much mousse for most people. Adjust based on your hair's needs. Next up in my routine is diffusing upside down. I do not diffuse upside down the entire time. My hair needs about 50 minutes of diffusing to get about 90% dry, and it's important to be upside down and not leaning. I can't stay truly upside down for 50 minutes, it's just too uncomfortable. 5 minutes is doable, so that's what I do. Step 5 is where I'm finally going to turn upright. So I gently hold my hair to my head and then try to let it gently fall, kind of shake and wiggle, and try to get my hair to fall into more of its natural position. Trying to be gentle to not disrupt things too much, but to kind of figure out how my hair is wanting to lay today. And then I take a look at anything that just may look really out of place. My hair is still quite wet here. It's full of product. It's in the process of trying to form a cast, so it doesn't have much bounce or much volume. It just doesn't look very pretty, frankly, and I don't expect it to. This is how my hair is roughly supposed to look at this stage, but what I'm looking for is anything that just seems really strangely shapen, anything that is in a really weird place. I try to correct anything that just looks too wonky. Like right here, you'll see there's one hair that's running horizontally. I don't want that to dry in that position, so I knock it down so that it's running up and down the way that it should be. I just want to correct anything that's really out of place before I move on to diffusing, because if I let my hair get totally dry while something is really misshapen, then it's going to dry and hold that unnatural shape. So I try to fix it now, and I re-squish my hair to help it form a better shape if needed. The next step is to move on to diffusing my hair to about 90% dry, and I do this mostly upright. I do left and right, front and back, so it's kind of in 4/4, and I do try to tilt my head depending on where the diffuser is at. My goal is to kind of create a little bit of separation between my hair and my scalp as it's drying so that it doesn't get stuck too close to my scalp. After I've diffused till 90% dry, I just hang around the house until my hair is 100% dry. You don't want to break the cast until it's dry. So this is me after my hair is totally dry, doing a spin, showing you what the cast looks like. It's not pretty, it looks crunchy, it looks stiff, it is crunchy and stiff. That's called the cast. And then I lean over and I squish my hair, I kind of fluff my roots a little bit. This is how I break the cast, or scrunch out the crunch, as we say in the wavy and curly hair community. It's just a way of saying you squeeze your hair to get rid of that crunchy feeling and get rid of kind of that like wet look, make your hair look and feel a little bit better. It adds volume, but if you've had a cast, you'll still continue to have better definition, less frizz, and your pattern will hold better. So that's why we do it. Once I flip up right here, I kind of am seeing my actual results. Got to do a little bit more squishing to get that cast off. And this is doing a spin after my hair has had the crunch out. So these are my actual results for the day. But compared to the results that I used to get when I was trying to completely do my hair upside down and I was leaning over and all that, this works for me. And I'm happy with it. So if you try this, or if you do something similar but have little tweaks of your own that are a little bit different, I'd love to hear what your little tips and tricks are. Maybe I'll give them a try and see if they work for me.